What's going on, everybody? This is Zach with Strictly Shisha. I got the product you've all been waiting for. Today, I'm reviewing the new Kaloud Lotus Plus. Yes, the newest, the best version of the Kaloud Lotus has just been released for pre-order. I have one today to tell you guys a little bit about it and what improvements they've made over the original. Stay tuned. So by now, I'm sure most of you, at least all of you watching this, are familiar with the Kaloud Lotus heat management device. It was the original heat management device that was introduced to the market many years ago, I think back in 2013. And when that product was released, it definitely shook things up. For many years, people were content just smoking with foil with a coals right on top. When the Kaloud Lotus was released, it changed the way the market worked and the way people thought about smoking hookah. It made managing your heat a lot easier, a lot more dummy proof. It helped a lot of new smokers get into hookah. I found that it elongated my sessions, kept the coals burning a lot longer, and it does change the profile of the smoke. That's why you guys notice when I do review a flavor, I compare it to smoking a heat management device versus smoking foil. Some people believe the heat management device makes it better, and some people believe it just makes it different. But it definitely changes the way you smoke. And since it was released, I believe the Kaloud Lotus is the #1 selling accessory worldwide. And if you notice now, a lot of bowls are designed around heat management devices. They have lips, they have grooves in them for that. They have coals that are shaped specifically to fit into devices like this. There's just a whole new market and ingenuity. People are pushing the bar because I believe when Kaloud released this product, people realized that smoking hookah could change, it could improve. And I believe that the Kaloud Lotus was the catalyst for this improvement. Now obviously, since the Lotus has been introduced to the market, many other heat management devices have been introduced as well. Today's review though is going to be a review of the new Lotus Plus and compared to the original Kaloud Lotus device that was originally introduced to the market. In a later review, yes, you guys will get it, a review comparing the new Lotus to other heat management devices. But today I'm gonna stick to comparing to the original Lotus and the improvements that's been made, because like I said, this was the original heat management device, and I wanna see what improvements Kaloud has made since they first released that product many years ago. By the way, it's been a long time coming. A lot of us have been like, where are you, Kaloud? We want this new product. The Lotus changed a lot of our lives, changed the way we smoke hookah, and we wanna see what you're gonna do next. So finally, many years later, here we are. I'm here to review this product. So let's go to the tabletop and show you guys the physical differences between the original Lotus I got back in 2013 and the new Kaloud Lotus Plus. So let's compare the physical differences between the original Lotus, the one I've had for many years now. I got this one back in 2013, kind of looks like it. And the new Lotus I just got in, the Lotus Plus. Right off the bat, you will notice there is a physical size difference between these two units. The new Lotus is larger, taller, and wider. Taking off the lids, we'll get back to that. When you flip these units over to look at the bottom plate that touches the tobacco, at first glance, these two units look identical. But upon further inspection, you will notice that the new Lotus does have larger air vents than the original Lotus. The bumps on the bottom, the signature Kaloud bumps, the screw pattern and things like that do look very similar. And both units keep consistent with that groove on the outer edge that fits nicely into a lot of bowls. So not many changes made to the bottom plate. Both of them still are exactly 3 inches in diameter, which is great because that is the new standard of bowl sizes these days. Now if you flip these two units over, you will notice that there is a difference in the finish. The original Lotus was more of a shiny finish, which is actually dulled since I've used it for so many years, compared to the V2, the Plus unit, which is more of a matte finish. So they actually, in past years, the original Lotus, the one without the bumps on the inside, have actually changed the finish on this to be more similar to the new model. So this is an outdated finish. If you buy a regular Lotus on the shelf today, the finish will look more consistent with the Lotus Plus. But either way, I've heard both finishes do not really make a difference. The difference is this finish maintains its color throughout its life versus the original finish on my 2013 model has changed over the years. I hear both finishes do not really affect the performance of either, and they're not really a big deal. So the next thing that you probably are noticing, and like Zach just talk about it, there are bumps. There are these large posts on the inside of the new Lotus compared to the original. Many people complained about the original one having blacking out issues with coals. With the new one, you actually raise up the coals and allow airflow underneath the coals and keep them cherried for longer. So that is definitely a very cool and much needed improvement. So the posts on there, and there are 9 posts total. The inside air vents on the corners there look pretty similar, but you will notice that the diameter of the top of the units, this one is about 2 3/4, compared to about 2.5 inches, is overall larger. You can fit a lot more charcoal in the Lotus Plus compared to what you were able to fit in the original Lotus, which everyone will love. Both of the units keep consistent with a 2-piece design and not a solid piece of aluminum. You guys saw the screw holes on the bottom, and it actually still has the posts on the side with both of the units. And most people believe that those posts are just there for the screw hole to connect the bottom plate and the top plate. I actually believe those play a functional role in the heating of the unit and actually transferring heat from the bottom plate throughout the whole unit. That's just a theory, and I will explain that further in the video itself, but I just want to show you guys the posts are still there. And you will notice that the post actually protrudes further on the Lotus Plus versus as it did on the original Lotus. I don't know what functional difference that makes yet. Now let's talk about the lids on both of these units. Both of the units still have that toggle style design as you guys are used to. You will still notice here that once you align the Lotus leaves over the holes here, there are still air gaps for your coals to breathe, so you can actually toggle that to its full position. The first thing you'll notice is that there are difference in the logos on the tops of these. There's no more caution, it's hot sign, and the logo, the Kaloud logo, is different on this one. Remind you guys that this is a prototype unit. I do not know what the final logo and impressions will look like on the top of this. From what I've seen though, it's the same thing, it's just a little bit more bolder so you guys can see with a little bit more contrast, because there is the new Kaloud Lotus logo on the top here. If you guys will see, the difference in the diameter is obviously different on these to match up with the difference of diameters here. And if you flip to the bottom, they look pretty much identical. The thickness of this post is a little bit thicker on the new model, but otherwise the screw hole, the set, the washer, the design, everything looks pretty much the same. In addition, the handles also are interchangeable and the exact same, and the posts of the handles are the exact same as well. So not many differences in the lid itself. When you compare the weights of these two products, the original Lotus weighs in at 114.2 grams. And in comparison to the new Lotus, which is larger in size, I did expect it to weigh a lot more. But in actuality, it weighs 115.7 grams. So the weight difference between these two products are negligible, but yet they're different in size. So that's interesting. So there you guys have it. That is the physical differences between the original Kaloud Lotus and the Kaloud Lotus Plus on the tabletop. By the way, thank you Kaloud for sending me this R&D unit to share with all of you guys. This was an R&D unit. It was used, abused, and tested by other people. I will hopefully be getting a new unit to show you guys and show you guys an unboxing of that and compare that to the other heat management devices on the market. So the first request people had with a version 2 of the Lotus, they wanted larger capacity to fit more coals, elongate your sessions, and just make it more versatile with different coal combinations. With the original Lotus, you were only able to fit 2 cubes and 1 flat in there. When I fit 3 cubes, it was like 2 cubes and 1 cube hanging out, and kind of had to like knock it in there later into the session and prop the lid. It just wasn't enough heat. So with the new Lotus, they actually widened the walls up, kept the diameter the same, and allows you to fit more coals. With this new unit, you can fit 3 cubes in there next to each other, no problem. You can fit more flats. Today, I'm actually using 4 cubettes sitting flat on the bottom from titanium very easily. So this new unit has a lot more capacity, and I found with the more years I've been smoking and the more knowledge I've had and the way I've changed my smoking, I actually prefer more heat. So with this new unit, there's definitely improvement with the capacity and the versatility of the amount and types of coals you use. So I love that improvement. That was a necessary improvement for this new model. The next improvement that people wanted, some people would preheat their Lotus because when they would put the coals in there and there was no airflow to the bottom of those coals, they would black out. First of all, I was never one of those people. I never preheated my Lotus. I thought it was stupid. I actually never really noticed the coals blacking out, but I did notice that with other heat management devices with grooves on the bottom and little props, that with the same amount of coals, they would be more productive in other heat management devices. And that's strictly because there was no airflow to the bottom of the original Lotus. So people said implement something on the bottom to raise up the coals and improve the airflow. So that's what Kaloud did. They have these 9 posts on the bottom that elevate the coals and allow them to have more airflow. And yes, be more productive in the unit and not black out. So with this new unit, you will not ever have to worry about preheating your Lotus, like I said, which was dumb in the first place. Those coals will stay cherried, and even I put a half-lit coal in the new unit intentionally to see if there was enough airflow to get that coal started, and there was. So the coals in here now will be more productive. You'll get more use out of those coals. It will heat the device better because of those grooves on the bottom, and they will stay lit. So that is amazing, and that's exactly what I wanted Kaloud to do with this new unit. Their design of the posts on the bottom are perfect. It's easy to clean out. Different heat management devices on the market have implemented different way of elevating the coals, but I think the post design is very productive. I wouldn't have done it any differently, and I like the style that they chose. So those two features are the main design difference and improvements that Kaloud has made to the new unit. Most of the other design aspects have stayed consistent with the original design. Like I said, very negligible differences to the bottom plate, the size of the vents, and every other aspect. The lid still pretty much the same, still kind of has a rough spin to it. Not as smooth as I would prefer, but I never really had a problem with it. Also, the handle on this is one thing I think they should have improved. I personally own 2 original Kaloud Lotuses. I never had my handle break off. Yet again, I don't swing it by the handle or anything like that. But I would think that some people have had issues with that handle. So I would have wished that Kaloud would have improved the handle on the new Lotus Plus compared to the original. But like I said, the handles are pretty much the same. So all of the rest of the features are the same and compared to the original Lotus from my eyes and my tested opinion. But I've used a lot of heat management devices on the market, and I do not see any features that Kaloud could have implemented here that could have improved it even further. I think this is pretty much a perfect device to my knowledge now. One day someone's gonna make a new feature and I'm gonna say, Kaloud, you gotta implement that in the version 3. But at the moment, I am extremely happy with this new Kaloud Lotus Plus, and I appreciate the improvements they made to the original. So to answer the blatant question, this is yes, guaranteed an improvement over the original. So if you are a first-time buyer of a heat management device, the Kaloud Lotus Plus is what you need to pick up. If you already have an original Lotus and you're happy with it, then you don't really need to go out and buy one today. But if you are someone who always wants the latest, the greatest, you want to improve your session, you want to put more coals in there, you don't want your coals to black out, then it's definitely worth upgrading and buying the new Lotus Plus. I love mine. This is gonna be my go-to heat management device of choice right now. I will switch this out between the Provost every now and then. I still like my Provost, but I think the Provost is a totally different type of device, and it's not exactly comparable to this. But in terms of heat management devices that are similar to the Kaloud Lotus, this is my choice right now. I don't see any other units having any benefits over this one. So right now, the pre-order is available on Kaloud's website. These retail for $49. I think it's a pretty fair price. I paid, I think, $44 for my original Lotus, like I don't know how many years ago. So the price hasn't really changed that much. They've kept consistent with that, which I'm happy for. And these will ship out on the 12th of this month, December of 2017. So check out your favorite vendors. I know StrictlyShisha will have them. They've already posted a video. I know 5-Star will definitely have them. I talked to Ron from Hookah Heroes. He's already placed his order. So all of the major vendors are getting this product in stock. So it will be a big deal. This will be sold worldwide. So I definitely think that you guys, if you want one, should pick up one of these products. So although I've only had this new Lotus Plus for a very short period of time, I've gotten as many bowls through this thing as I can, and I can definitely say I'm very happy with the performance and smokability of this new unit. Now, the original unit, I had some of my best sessions in my life out of that original Lotus, and do I expect this unit to perform any better? Not really per se. It's not gonna smoke like more cloud output or anything like that, but it's gonna be a lot easier to get those sessions because of the versatility, the larger capacity, and the airflow to those coals. So it's gonna be a lot easier to get those 10 out of 10 sessions, rip those clouds with this new unit. By the way, the setup today, since I always forget to tell you guys on these reviews, today I'm smoking out of the Chico V4.5 Scandelo. I have the hookah stand on the bottom, the box design sitting on my coffee table. using a Droid Gold hose, using a Goodfella V3 bowl. By the way, if you're looking for a good bowl to pair with your Kaloud Lotus, you guys know the Goodfella bowl is one of my favorite bowls, my go-to bowl, so pairs really nicely. I am using 4 titanium cubettes, and I'm smoking some pure tobacco Morangi, revisiting this with a little bit of pure fresh mint. I've been on a pure tobacco kick for the past 2 weeks. Been really enjoying revisiting some of those standalone single note flavors. Pure always does a really good job. So I hope this review provided some information for you guys to see if the new Lotus Plus is right for you. Like I said, there are definite improvements over the original revolutionary Kaloud Lotus, and I'm happy with it. So thank you guys as always for watching. I sincerely appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, always supporting me, the messages, the emails, I love it. Feel free to thumbs up if you'd like, or subscribe if you haven't. You will see more reviews of this new Kaloud Lotus, like I said, and compared to other heat management devices, and you'll see me using it on a daily basis because I do enjoy it. So thank you guys always, I appreciate you guys, and have a wonderful day. Bye guys.